Hi everyone, welcome back. This week's project, I'm going to be turning a cherry bowl from this piece of cherry that a viewer sent to me very kindly. Thank you. And since I usually turn primarily maple, sometimes black walnut, I was pretty excited to try this piece of cherry. And the first thing I did after getting it mounted was use a chisel and remove the loose bark, and so it wouldn't fly off and hurt me. As you can see, this piece is pretty dry. And so I'm starting with the Carter & Son bowl gouge, really just turning a lot of air here, trying to get some of the first passes taken care of before starting to really shape the piece. So this is me stopping along the way to check it out, to see what I'm going to do with this piece. I knew I was going to make a bowl, I just didn't know the shape when I started until I got to turning it and seeing sort of the insides of it. It was pretty punky and it had some voids and cracks, as you can see in the video there. But I knew it would have some character, so I was excited to get into it. And there were multiple ways I could have gone about this because of the voids and the character of this piece. I could have used the epoxy resin to fill the voids. I could have done it a bunch of different ways, but I decided to leave this one pretty natural. I didn't use any resin or even any CA glue in this piece. I wanted the voids to sort of be the highlights of it, so even though I turned some of them down a little bit, you'll see in the finished piece it does show the character of it. So, and I also used a tenon. This piece really, I didn't want to take too much away, and using a mortise would have taken some of the ability to give it some depth out. Notified when I upload a new project. So it's coming into more of the bowl shape, as you can see here. Using the Carter & Son skew chisel to finalize the shape of the tenon and do some passes on the outside of the piece. This is the new to me Carter & Son 1-inch shear scraper, which I love. I'll link it and all the other products I use in the video description. And the piece is starting to take shape here. Doing some final passes and stopping to check before I'm going to be reverse mounting it. And after I took the faceplate off, checking the balance of the piece before starting the hollowing process. And as usual, I'm using the Carter & Son bowl gouge here. This piece wasn't terribly difficult to hollow because, as I mentioned, it was pretty dry. Hey, if you're a wood turner and watching, let me know what species of wood you usually turn, or what's native to your neck of the woods. As I mentioned, I turn mostly maple. There's a lot of maple in Maine. And I'm curious to see what you turn or what you can easily get your hands on. So comment down below and let me know. Hey, if you're just getting started in wood turning, or you're thinking about getting started and you could use a little help, or you're not sure how to get started, I have launched my Teachable class on Teachable.com, and my first class is titled How to Get Started in Wood Turning. And sign up now. It will be released in January. You can watch and learn at your own pace. I will link the Teachable website down in the video description if you want to check it out. It is very reasonably priced. And here I am finalizing the thickness of the piece, or starting to finalize it, and continuing the hollowing process, getting it down to the final dimensions before sanding. And for the woodworkers that are watching, question number 2, what did you ask Santa for in regards to your woodworking? Curious to know what Santa may be bringing you. Personally, I am wishing for a jointer. I sanded this piece from 80 to 400 grit. And here I'm using denatured alcohol to clean the surface before applying sanding sealer. Here is the sanding sealer, and I mix a denatured alcohol into the sealer, so I use 70% sealer and 30% denatured alcohol. And after the sealer has dried, I use a piece of 600 grit sandpaper to denib the piece, smooth it out before starting the Axe abrasive sanding paste. And if you've watched any other of my videos, you may know that I use Axe in almost every single project that I do. I have a coupon code if you want to try Axe. I also have some other coupon codes in the video description for other awesome products: Total Bolt Resin, Starbond CA Glue, Area Workwear. And this is the Axe polishing paste, step 2 of 2. And it is that easy to use. No waiting, no complicated application process. It just does a great job. And on to my not so favorite part of reverse mounting to remove the tenon. I don't know why, I just don't look forward to this part. But obviously it's necessary when you're using a tenon. And as I mentioned on this piece, using a mortise just would take away from some of the depth of the bowl. So using this flat bottom worked. Here I'm using a piece of sandpaper wrapped around a piece of plywood, using it this way because it will sand flat using the piece of wood. And if I just use my hands in the sandpaper, it would be likely indented a bit, and if it's flat, the branding iron works so much better. So applying sanding sealer over the branding iron logo. Stick around for the beauty shots coming up and a couple of announcements. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I would appreciate any and all comments, and I respond to all of them. Also, I wanted to mention that I do have a merchandise shop now. If you want to order t-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, etc. for PF Woodturning, check out the link in the video description and get yourself a little something. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Until next week, peace out.